Hey, LA Progressive, this is Dick and Sharon. And so I just talked to Dick like 5 minutes ago, and I said, hey, Dick, how about we make a video that tells the LA Progressive community about how we met, tells them a little bit more about us, because we get a lot of requests about, well, who are Dick and Sharon? On Google Analytics, one of the questions that's asked a lot is, who are Dick and Sharon? So
Yeah, and I've always thought we met in kind of a cute way, and it's a story we've told time and again. And it was 20 years ago, and it was a godsend. I mean, it put my life on a whole different course, and I'm happy to talk about it.
oh, that's sweet. Okay, so truth is, it was kind of by accident that we met. I was trying to show my sister, who was single at that point, I was trying to show her how to use online dating because I actually had quite a bit of experience at it. Now, we're talking like 20 years ago. And I say that we were on Match.com, but Dick says no, it was some other.
It was matchmaker.com.
Okay, whatever, Match.com, matchmaker.com. Yeah. I was showing my sister how to use the software, and she would not put her own profile up. So I said, look, I'll put a profile of myself up, which I had a profile up, but I'd taken it down because I'd stopped. I was actually not dating. Put my profile up, and within 24 hours, he reached out to me.
Yeah, so I had experimented with online dating the summer before, and I went on about 6 dates, and then stopped. My month was up and I wasn't married. So 6 months later, I signed up again. And both times, I think I got a free month.
Now, mind you, I want to interrupt here because at this point, clearly we were like way into adulthood. And in fact, both of us had been married before. And so we were sort of newly free. And I had no intention of dating anybody. My goal was to get my kids out of college, get them graduated, use my house as a place to relax with my cats, read my books, and drink my wine. And Dick had different objectives.
Yeah, we'd both been married. Let's
not talk about age.
So it was 20 years ago, and that's true. I'd had a long marriage and a shorter one before that. And so anyway, I did that first 6 months first month of online dating in the summer, and I did it again in the winter. And I had, all told, I think 12 dates, and none of them was unpleasant. They were all kind of nice. One of them was kind of screwy, but most of them, I'd say.
Well, I want to hear about the screwy one. I don't remember you telling me about a screwy date.
Yeah, it was the lady was paranoid, and I couldn't park in the lot of the restaurant where she wanted me to be, and when it was an uncomfortable date, and she was bizarre, but I had to look away while she departed, so I couldn't see what kind of car she got in, because she thought I would, and maybe
you might follow her.
Maybe she'd had some bad experiences. Okay. So
dating 20 years ago. I mean, you're a big guy. You really can't tell by looking at this, but Dick is like 6'2".
I'm not that big. So anyway, so pleasant dates. But my month was up. It was the last weekend, and I was not going to pay for it again because I wasn't shy like I was when I was a kid, and I had been online dating because I didn't feel that I could really date where I worked. There was only 100 people there, and I was one of the executives that just was begging for trouble. And I didn't want to date in the neighborhood where I'd been living because that was with my former wife, and that was where all our friends were. So I thought online dating would work. I was actually, the date with Sharon was going to be my last. I was done. My time would run out, and I was not going to do it again.
So anyway, so he contacted me, and I didn't respond. And the reason I didn't respond, it's not like I was just trying to brush him off, is that I actually was not interested in dating anyone. I was just simply trying to show my sister how to use the dating application. And in showing her, I had to put up a profile. And so he responded to the profile, and I was like, okay, look, and I said to my sister, hey, check this out. This guy has reached out to me, and oh, by the way, he's got the same birthday as you, which just so happens that Dick and my sister share a birthday, different years. But I thought it was kind of interesting. You guys both have the same birthday. I said, maybe you should go out with him.
So her profile was unusual for online dating profiles. It was very simple for reasons that she's saying, because she wasn't really doing it in earnest, but she had, I think, one or two gorgeous pictures of her beautiful face. Still beautiful, even more beautiful then. Beautiful face, and three.
Well, even more beautiful then.
Well, younger.
So you see,
still beautiful face. Still beautiful face. But three simple questions. One was, do you like to read? What are your politics? And she likes older men. And I thought, well, holy smokes. I mean, I read all the time. I was all interested in politics, and I was older. And I got back crickets.
Right, because I wasn't
no
interested.
Response.
Well, because I wasn't interested in dating.
Right.
And the reason the profile was so brief was I was trying to quickly show my sister how to use it.
Right. No, we got that. So unlike unusual for me, I got lots of crickets. You know, you'd reach out to women and nothing would happen. And that was the game for men. You'd send them out and an occasional woman would respond. But this time I sent her another message and I said, what's up? You know, you set certain requirements and I fit them perfectly.
So what he didn't know was going on. Obviously, I just said I was showing my sister how to use the application, but at the same time, my son was also trying to use online dating. And my son, being male, was having the typical male experience, which I didn't realize that the experience for online dating for men was so vastly different than it was for women. So my son was not getting any responses either. And I really felt bad for him. And then now I got this guy contacting me and I'm not responding to him. And I felt like, you know, I should at least, you know, let the guy know that I really actually wasn't interested in dating.
So she gave me her phone number and I gave her a call at work time. She was at work, and the nice thing about it, I could tell she was nervous. I guess she felt a little guilty for not responding, and had a sweet voice, and we agreed to meet.
Yeah. So I thought, you know, what's the harm in having coffee? So we met like before lunch. It was like brunch, like a brunch time kind of thing. And we met at a place where I knew the employees of this restaurant, and you know, they were checking him out. And I was extra careful. I didn't know this guy from Adam. And so
and I had showed up early because my dad said, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, stay home. So, but anyway, I didn't know Pasadena, and I hadn't spent much time there, and I didn't know how long it would take. And I showed up actually quite a bit early, 45 minutes, half hour early. And I'd walked around the neighborhood, and the place she'd picked was a quite nice place, but it was a family place, at least in the morning on a Sunday. And it was noise, and it was noisy as could be.
Right,
we could barely hear.
Yeah, a lot of kids,
a lot of families and kids.
Big Sunday brunch.
But I had found a very cool-looking restaurant. What was the name of it?
La Luna Negra.
La Luna Negra, a block away, a dark place. And I suggested we go down there, and she didn't know about it. I think it was kind of new then, and we went down there.
Well, I initially said no. We were going to try to eat at the place that I had chosen, but he was right. It was too loud. We couldn't even hear each other speak. So then I agreed to go to.
So we went down there. We were I believe, the only customers, at least for quite a while, and that began a 10-hour date.
Okay, so that's enough of this dating stuff. I'm sure people see. Okay,
well,
obviously.
I mean, no, but a 10-hour date. I've never had a 10-hour date, and like at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we both had demanding jobs the next day. I don't know that we would end up Dick and Sharon, but I've never had another 10-hour date.
Well,
and she's a delightful conversationalist, and I'm kind of not so good.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And she carried the conversation, and it was fun, and she's beautiful, and she's accessible, bright. We knew some of the same people. It turned out I published some computer magazines, and some of the people who were on the volunteer boards worked at her place of work. I left and I couldn't wait till the next time we got together.
Well, the thing that attracted me most, I mean, obviously, I think Dick is a very handsome man, and he's very well-spoken, well-traveled, well-read, but his politics was right. That, to me, was really, really important, and that's kind of what kept our conversation going for 10 hours. So, yeah, we started off with brunch, and then we went for a walk, and then we went to the movies, and then we had lunch, and then we had dinner, and then, 10 hours later, got to say goodnight.
I mean, how many times you go to a first-hour date, one of these online dating things, and end up in a movie? The movie was Chicago.
Oh,
turned out to be a great movie.
It was fun. Yeah,
it was everything was like the stars were aligned, and this was kind of a low point in my life. I mean, I was single and I had a daughter, and God, she was just a godsend.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. So anyway, for people that want to know how did we meet, we met online, and by the time we met, we were both way into adulthood. In fact, my two children, my daughter, at this, at her name, I'm gonna cut that out. Anyway, she was in college, and my son had graduated from college. I had empty nest, but he had an 8-year-old child, and so we didn't have any kids together. And shortly after that, we started the LA Progressive, but we immediately began working in politics together, starting off by volunteering for the John Kerry campaign for president.
But before that, we had this wonderful first date, and then we had a series over a several-month period. We dated almost every week. We'd always meet someplace, usually up in her neck of the woods, and oftentimes go to a movie and dinner. But I could not go near her house. She did not want me driving up this hill to Mount Washington.
Don't tell people where we live. We don't know where this thing goes. I didn't want them to know where I live.
Well, that was another thing. I saw it was Mount Washington. I thought, oh shoot, it's not even in this state. I had never heard of Mount Washington.
Listen. I just told him.
It's right on our side.
And there we go.
Well, it could be Mount Washington, Michigan. There's a Mount Washington in New Hampshire.
Oh, is there? And that's where we live, Mount Washington, New Hampshire.
That's it.
Okay. So LA Progressive, that's how Dick and Sharon met. Next episode, we'll talk about how we started the LA Progressive. See you guys later.
Thank you.